Serenade number 13 for strings in G major. Means Chris has to get this. Chris, PM Dawn's 1991 UK hit single, Set Adrift on Memory Bliss, contains substantial use of a sample from which Spandau Ballet song?
The only Spandau Ballet song I can call to mind is Gold. I don't see how you'd sample that, because it's a horrible cacophony in my books. I have to go with Gold.
It's not Gold, is another single word title.
True.
It's True.
True.
Which is what your answer was not. So it means, John, you're in the final round, you and K9.
Bless. How lovely.
Both of you in the final round. That'll bolster the team then. John, would you come back and join your team, and you as well, Chris, please? So this is what we've been playing towards. It is time for the final round, which as always is general knowledge. But I'm afraid those of you who lost your head-to-heads won't be allowed to take part in this round. So Louise and Katie from behind the sofa and Chris and Judith from the Eggheads, would you leave the studio, please? So Colin, Fraser and John, you're playing to win behind the sofa, £6,000 for your chosen charity. And Daphne, Barry and Pat, you're playing for something which money can't buy, the Eggheads' reputation. As usual, I'll ask each team 3 questions in turn. This time the questions, they're all general knowledge. You are allowed to confer in this round. So Colin, Fraser and John, the question is, are your 3 brains better than the Eggheads' 3? And behind the sofa, would you like to go first or second? It's your choice.
We've decided to continue the trend and go first, if we may.
You certainly may go first, and best of luck with them. As I say, general knowledge, anything can come up. Here's your first question. Who helped to put the electronic music device known as the stylophone on the map in the 1960s and 70s through marketing and advertising? Bob Harris, Rolf Harris or Keith Harris?
That was Rolf Harris.
Not Keith Harris?
No. Not Keith.
Rolf Harrison. Good start there for behind the sofa. And your first question, Eggheads. In the English expression, which creature is commonly said to be in the room to denote an issue or problem which is known about but considered to be too awkward to discuss? Albatross, elephant or bear?
Elephant. Yeah.
Elephant. That's the elephant, Dermot.
You sure?
The elephant in the room. Yes.
Elephant in the room is correct, Eggheads. Both eased in there. Let's ratchet it up a bit. Behind the sofa, second question. Which football club did Rafael Benitez manage immediately before joining Liverpool in 2004? Was it Real Madrid, Valencia or Barcelona?
I've got a feeling of Valencia, but I honestly don't know.
No, I'll go with you then, Valencia.
No, don't.
Well,
don't.
Valencia's a nice place. Let's go there.
Right now.
Well, go on, well, you go. Colin, you haven't answered the question all
We
day.
trust you, Colin. We trust you.
We're going to go for Valencia.
Trusting the doctor. And right to do so, it's correct. Yes, Valencia. Well done. Certainties kind of disappear there, don't they, when you're faced with those choices in the Eggheads. But you got it. You got 2 out of 2. So Eggheads. Behind here, which member of the Beatles set up his own label called Dark Horse Records in 1974? John Lennon, Paul McCartney or George Harrison?
Well, I know George Harrison set up a film company.
Film company.
I'm wondering, did he set up a record label as well?
I don't know the answer to this.
I can't think. I'm sure John and Paul have never set anything up.
I've never heard of it mentioned.
Thought of George Harrison.
George Harrison?
Yeah.
We'll go for George Harrison, but we're very unsure.
It is the right answer, George Harrison. Dark Horse Records. So it's all square again, and back to behind the sofa, who've been going really well. And third question, in 2003, Sir Ranulph Fiennes published a biography of which explorer? Francis Drake, David Livingstone or Captain Scott?
I have a
you have a feeling.
I have a feeling that it might be Scott.
I think it might be Scott too.
Yeah.
Because that's the kind of
an
exploration.
instinctive thing, but I'm not...
that he's kind of mainly interested in.
Yeah.
I'd say it seems too obvious, but sometimes the obvious...
Shall
we'll go with it.
Well, we all have a similar feeling without the actual knowledge, and we think it's Captain Scott.
You've all got a feeling. It's the right feeling, yes, well done. Yeah. And Ranulph Fiennes, well, I mean, yes, it's his polar exploration. I mean, he's lost several digits, hasn't he, through frostbite over the years?
Yeah.
Bits missing, I'm sure he's
He's chopped some of them off himself.
Oh, goodness me. Well, Captain Scott appearing again in the quiz and identified there by behind the sofa, which means Eggheads, as you know, if you get this wrong, they have beaten you. What French term was used to describe the 1940s and 50s European equivalent of America's abstract expressionism? Was it pochoir, tachism, or réalité nouvelle?
I'm absolutely certain on this. It was Tashism.
I am assured it's Tashism. Tashism?
Tashism. It's the right answer. Well done, Eggheads. Knew that one. OK. Well, yet again, this has been so close that we're always going to sudden death. And in the final round, as you might have expected, you could put money on it. Sudden death. So behind the sofa, no choices. Between 1969 and 1973, the singer Lulu was married to which pop music performer?
Morris Gibb.
Just remember, I need a correct first name and
Morris
surname.
Gibb.
Your answer is?
Morris Gibb.
You're absolutely certain, aren't you? It's the right answer, yes. Got to get your Gibbs right there.
Yes, yeah.
Of the Bee Gees, clearly. Yes, Morris Gibb, married to Lulu for those years in the late 60s, early 70s. And Eggheads need to get this then again. Which figures in Scandinavian mythology take their name from the Old Norse, meaning chooser of the slain?
Valkyries.
Valkyries? Yeah. I think they gather them up and take them off. Yeah. Yep. We're going for Valkyries.
Valkyries is correct, Eggheads. Well, you're not slain next in quizzing terms. What do you got to do? Yes, leave them alone.
Yeah.
You are doing
bullying.
fantastically.
You realise that?
Listen, you're just...
This is bullying.
I think, well, you're doing it to them. You're just cruising along here with these answers. Wonderful stuff. OK, best of luck with this one then. Which 1937 Astaire and Rogers musical film features the couple performing the number Let's Call the Whole Thing Off on Roller Skates?
What titles can you
Top Hat.
Top Hat?
Yeah. There's Top Hat.
Flying down to Rio.
Yeah, Flying Down to Rio.
What was the year again?
37, yeah. Astaire and Rogers singing Let's Call the Whole Thing Off on Roller Skates in which film?
Yes, all right. Yep.
With no real confidence, alas, we're coming up with Top Hat.
Top Hat, Astaire and Rogers, but it's not Top Hat. It's incorrect. Do you know, Eggheads? You might know, Daphne.
Shall we dance?
It is Shall We Dance? But it wasn't your question. So you don't win with that. Here is your question, an opportunity, though, to take the game. Which city is home to the headquarters of the European Space Agency?
I think they control some of their gadgets from Darmstadt, but it's not the centre. I think it's Paris.
My first thought was Paris.
I thought,
It doesn't matter.
I can't think of any other strong rival.
I just think it's
it.
Paris.
Slight doubt, but we're going for Paris.
Just think it's Paris. That's it. No reason? It's the right answer, Eggheads. You've won. Hot diggity dog. Very generous of you. Absolutely cracking stuff there. And just after so many questions, one in it came down to that European Space Agency. The Eggheads, though, have done what comes naturally to them. That winning streak continues. I'm afraid you won't be going home with the £6,000 for your chosen charity. That means, of course, the money rolls over to the next show. Until then, goodbye.
There's never been a homemade motorbike built from a classic construction toy until tonight. An epic challenge for James